we should probably be able to delete things as well. So let me go into Windows and see if we can delete things in Windows. Well, I have a couple of files that I have in here. I have a couple of folders. One of the ways that I can delete it is right-click on it. Let's see if we can find the delete. There it is, delete. And it verifies, are you sure you want to delete this? Yes, I do. Thank you very much. Another way to do it is just to select on it and press the delete key. Once again, it's going to verify, yes, I would like to delete that. So let's look in DOS. How do I delete things in DOS? Well, let's see where I'm at. I have some folders in here, and I have a single file in here. If I wanted to delete stuff in DOS, think about the fact that DOS and Unix don't have a simple recovery process for deleted files. It is the Windows operating system that has a recycle bin. Linux and DOS don't have a recycle bin. The beautiful thing about the recycle bin, when I put stuff in there, I can go in there if I accidentally delete it, and I can restore it. The recycle bin has a certain size. Let's say, for instance, it's 5 gig. My recycle bin is 5 gig. I put stuff in there. It fills my recycle bin up to the top. As I delete another file, it drops it into the recycle bin, and the thing at the bottom drops out, so that it remains at most ever 5 gig. I can change the size of my recycle bin if I'm running out of space on my machine. And so if I haven't deleted a lot of stuff and I accidentally delete a file, I can go back to the recycle bin and just restore it. Have you ever done that before? DOS and Linux don't have a recycle bin. So when you delete a file, there is no recycle bin to restore from. But I'm pretty sure that we had one of the activities that required you to research software that would restore deleted files, right? So hopefully you had a chance to do that. So let's come into DOS and let's delete things. So in DOS, I'm going to type in DEL, which is short for delete, and I am going to delete something. So let's delete a directory. How about DOS folder? DO folder. Now keep in mind that it is not case sensitive. It says, are you sure? This is one of the few times when it's going to give me a warning. Are you sure? Yes. And let's see if it did it. Because it is a folder, we might want to type in RD for remove directory. DOS RD for remove directory. It didn't even ask. Did it delete it? Yes, it did. RD for remove directory. Now I'm going to say DOS folder 2. And I'm going to do a dir. Now there is a difference between a folder that has stuff in it and a folder that does not have stuff in it. If it has stuff in it, it will flat out just delete everything in it. Let's see if we can get it to delete that file, hisfile.txt, using the delete command, DEL. It didn't ask me, are you sure, yes or no? And if I type in a dir, now I have no more file in here. It deleted it. So let's go into Linux and see if we can delete stuff in Linux. So I'm going to type in RM, which is short for remove. I am going to type in RM and the name of a file that I would like to remove. So I'm just going to find one. And it is case sensitive. I had something called Thursday file. If I do a dir, let's see if it's still there. I'm going to do an RM. I have something called wins file. You should have at least one file in here because we used nano to create a file. If I am trying to delete a directory, so I'm going to use the RM or the remove command, and then I'm going to find a directory that I have in here. Well, I see something called Wednesday folder. I know that we created some Linux, LINUX folder. Remember, it's case sensitive. But I'm going to have to use a switch so that it knows that it is a directory, -R. It needs to know that it is a directory. Let's see if it removed Linux folder. If I don't use the switch, it won't delete it because it thinks it's a file. Yes, sir, Nicholas. How do you get out of the nano? If you get out of the nano by Control X for control exit, it also knows if there is stuff in the folder. And I can't use RM or remove with the -R switch to remove a directory that has files in it. Because it knows there's files in it. If I try to remove a directory with files in it, it won't allow me to do that without one extra thing. I have to use the command delete tree. And then I would give it the directory name. Delete tree indicates that you know that it has stuff in it and that you want to delete everything, the entire tree. Notice when I used the RM command to try to delete a file, it was actually a directory and it gave me the error message because it's a directory. So it won't let me use the RM command to remove directories, but it will give me a warning and tell me, nope, I can't do that. All right, so there's a couple of more commands that we want to talk about. Compare between the three. The next one is copy. I want to copy a file. All I have to do is right-click on it, copy, and then I can paste. And then I can paste it again, and I can paste it again. The interesting thing is that when I'm automatically tacking on some characters at the end so that each one of those individual copies have a different name. Another way that I can do that, let's see if we can, I'm curious to know what's in there, is that I have a DOS at heart and a keyboard girl. If I can do it from the keyboard, I would prefer to not have to take my hands off the keyboard and reach over somewhere, grab a mouse, move a stupid mouse, click, 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 and then put my hands back on the keyboard. If I can keep my hands on the keyboard as long as possible, it's better for me. So one of the options is to Control-C. If I hold the Control-C, that copies, and then Control-V. Every time I press Control-V, it makes another copy. Once again, Windows won't allow me to have a file that has multiple. I wonder if I can even Control-C and Control-V Visual Studio. There you go. Now I have two versions of Visual Studio. I bet there's even stuff in here. In a DOS, if I want to copy, let's see what's inside of here. In DOS, if I want to copy, I'm going to use the copy command. Just like move and delete, or just like move, I have to give it the name. When I rename, I need to give it the name and what I would like to copy it to. So let's see if we can copy. I don't have any files in here. I deleted all my files. Let's see if we can copy DOS folder version 3. Let's copy it to DOS 1. Oops, should spell it right. DOS 1. DOS, did I spell it wrong? DOS folder version 3. Did I spell it wrong? Oh, that's because if I'm copying directories, I have to use xcopy. Oh, because it's an empty directory. Oh, like it's even better. All right, so I'm going to use my up arrow to remove back. And then I have, because this particular folder is empty and has nothing in it, and DOS knows that it's empty, I have to use the /E switch because it knows that the folder is empty. Did it actually do it? I love this. At some point, have we still not got it? We still haven't. I love epic fails in front of an entire class. Not nearly as bad as crashing your operating system in front of an entire conference of people, but still a lot of fun. So I'm probably going to have a folder in here. All right, so let's see what's inside of here. Did I get... There's my file. It has nothing in it. If I do the start on the file that does exist, and then for my file.txt, hello. All right, now it has something in it. So let's see if we can use the copy command on my file.txt. I'm going to call it your file.txt. This time it says that there was one, and now I can see that I have two of them. So this is proof the copy command works, but it acts differently, or the commands are different if it's a file or a folder. Okay, let's try Linux. So the command is cp, copy. The command is cp. I'm going to give the old file name and a new file name. So do I still have any Linux files in here? Or did we delete them all? If you deleted them, use nano to create another one so that we can copy it. Oh, and once again, it's case sensitive, and so the F on the file needs to be uppercased. It doesn't tell me if it worked, but it told me when it didn't work because it couldn't find the file. So I'm going to use this cp command. We'll call your file 1. Oops, well, we have to spell it right. Your file 1. I'll copy it to your file 2. It doesn't tell me if it worked, so I'm going to do a dir and see if I have two of them, if I manage to copy it. The command for copying directories, cp, is the same command, but now I need to use a switch. So I'm going to get an old directory name. I'm pretty sure that I had a Linux folder 2. I can see the name of a Linux folder 2. I space in the name of the folder that I would like to copy it to. Linux folder, I'm just going to put F1, but I do need the switch, and the switch is -R. Let's see if it will do this. dir, there it is, Linux F1, right above. So it knows the difference between files and folders. If the destination folder exists, it will copy it into the destination folder. It doesn't tell me I can't copy it because that already exists. It just copies it into the existing folder.